Dr. Nathan Walker from Christie Clinic making the rounds this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So today we're talking about restless legs. What kind of a syndrome is that exactly?
Yeah, it's got a curious name. It's pretty common. About 1 in 10 people have this. And it's really just this almost insatiable desire to move your legs in the evening primarily. So it does happen sometimes at rest during the day, like let's say that you've been walking for a while, then you sit down on your recliner. But most people have this kind of creepy, crawly sensation, numbness, tingling potentially. Things that get better when you stand up and walk. These sensations happen in the evening mostly.
Sure. So how would you know if you have that? What's the difference between me just sitting here going, I just drank a bunch of coffee, I've got some energy, and knowing that you might have restless leg syndrome?
I think it's that sensation. Most people have some sort of sensation, and it gets better when they get up and walk. So I mean, you may have leg pain, for instance, but if it doesn't get better when you get up and walk, then that's primarily not really an issue. A lot of people have this, and it's just not bad enough to treat, but people that come see the doctor for it, they're the ones that are really unable to fall asleep.
Yeah, so at what point should you see a doctor? At what point are you just burning off energy? It's normal. At what point is it a concern?
Well, when it starts to give you trouble to fall asleep. So actually the restless leg syndrome recently in a study was implicated as a cause for increased risk of heart disease and death. We're not sure about this connection, but I think that because of that, it's probably worth talking to the doctor about. Sometimes a low ferritin or low iron can cause this. We found a couple of genetic abnormalities that can cause this as well. We're not sure if those are implicated in why there is an increased risk of heart disease. But for those people that just to maybe talk to the doctor, am I at increased risk, for instance, and there's things that you can do to treat it as well. There's medicine that works really well for it. It's specifically, there's a part of the brain, one way to explain it is that there's a part of the brain that sends out signals to tremor and move all the time. When you see a baby, you see them how they don't control their movements very well. And there's another part of the brain that suppresses that, and that's the part of the brain that's not really working that well in somebody with restless leg syndrome.
So is there any way to prevent the onset of this, or is this more of a genetic type condition?
Well, we don't exactly know. We've been able to associate it with a genetic focus, but we're not exactly sure. There are things you can do at home, though. So exercise helps. Taking a warm bath helps. Massaging your legs helps. So there's things that you can do.
And really the main cause for concern is after you've been moving all day, after you have exercised, if you're experiencing pain or you still can't sleep, then you might want to think about talking to your doctor at that point.
Absolutely, because the medicines work extremely well for most people.
Very good. So the prognosis after being diagnosed with this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it doesn't kill people. It's just really more of an annoyance, but it might help you sleep a lot better. And a lot of those people have the same symptoms at night where they'll have jerking movements. So the same medicine works for that too.
Absolutely. And if maybe you're not aware that your legs may be jerking at night as much as they actually are, is this something that maybe you could ask your spouse who's in bed next to you?
Absolutely. Ask your bed partner. A lot of people that have a little bit of restless legs, they'll have a lot of what's called periodic limb movement disorder. That's the nighttime version of restless legs in the sleep. And they may actually be waking themselves up 100 times at night and not even really realize it because they're not awake long enough for it to register.
Very interesting. Kind of like people don't know when they're snoring necessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
But your partner does. So, all right, Dr. Walker, thank you so much. Very good to know. We'll be right back with more of The Morning Show right after this.